Hello, and welcome to Passion, Purpose, and Profit. My name is Harrison. Welcome to the session. We apologize for starting late. We have a fire drill in the building, which is interrupting our audio, and then we have a few technical issues to go along with it. We thought we'd play this video for you, and surprise, surprise, it's actually quite good for the topic we're discussing today. I am your co-host. Victoria will be joining us in a moment. I'm the co-founder of Gold Zone Leadership Center, part of the Gold Zone Group. We're a small group of companies and we help leaders in their personal lives, in their professional lives, and in their business development. And our favorite project is the Leadership Center, among others. We have an investment company, we have a medical clinic, a wellness center, we have a technology business, a publishing company, and a few others. But the Leadership Center is our favorite, and Victoria is the CEO. She's going to join us right now and share why that is so. Hey, Victoria, welcome. And
Thank
before
you. Yes.
go ahead, just know that we might be interrupted by more fire alarm any moment. And if we do, we'll just play the video again until it's over. Go ahead, Victoria.
Thank you, Harrison. Yes, I'm the CEO. My name is Victoria. I'm the CEO of the Gold Zone Group. And yes, we're at one of our passion. In fact, the key passion in what we do is in education. And yes, a lot of minor technical issue leading up to the session, but all good. And we're excited to be here. I thought the video turned out to be fantastic, to be a great segue to our topic.
So Victoria, thank you. So why do you think that video is suitable for today's session? We're talking about passion, we're talking about purpose, and we're talking about profit. Why a video, comfort zone, magic zone, learning zone, and all that? Why does it apply?
Well, it's very simple. I think from my perspective, I used to think that money is money, right? Passion is passion, and purpose is purpose. So I didn't have the understanding. I didn't believe that we can actually combine purpose, passion, and profit. And over the years, talking to so many people, leaders, professionals, it's one of the hardest thing for people to fully see or fully believe that we don't have to sacrifice our career and money for what we really love to do. Because I would say that by default, we feel that a career is based on our capability, and passion is just something that we can do on the side. When it comes to making money, usually it's connected to the career. When it comes to passion, it's a hobby. And when it comes to purpose, well, most people don't really think about their purpose. And so it's something that is a little bit far off. So how do you combine? And what I realized from you and, and Andrew, who is the co-founder of Gold Zone, that it is possible that if we have only one life to live, why don't we combine passion, purpose, and profit so that we don't have to divide ourselves into two different fragments and to try to do everything and thinking that we don't have enough time.
Very good. Thank you. And does school teach us to combine these things, or what does school teach us in this regard?
Well, the school is really to build our capability, to help us with our skill set, and to look at, to help us to go into, the focus is very much security, I would say. So the school help us to get a secure job, help us to go for something that we can make income from. I don't even want to say money, because income, make the income from what we are talented at or what we are skilled at. So it's very much the developing skill to go for security and to have life that is based on security. In our term, we call it security paradigm.
Well, aren't we trained at school to get a job? So we want to get a high grade, high mark, so we can compete for jobs. The problem I have, and this is a passion for me, is that school doesn't prepare our children for the jobs of the future. And in fact, the jobs that they're preparing them for now are disappearing right now. So by the time the children who are in school now graduate, those jobs that they're ready for are gone. So the skills that are needed are much different than what they're prepared for. And school doesn't value passion, what you love to do. This is put to the side. And the only purpose really is to get a job, something you can excel at. Your happiness is not really a priority. And as for profit, well, profit is a dirty word for many people because I think profit is something that is evil, rather than profit is necessary in order for a business to maintain itself and to grow for the future, to invest in research and development, to pay for the people who take the risk, to keep the whole thing going. There needs to be a profit, but it's seen as a dirty word, eh, Victoria?
Yes, exactly. So I think there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the three topic add together and how can we integrate everything and live our best life. I would say that the other thing that happened is that a lot of people either have quarter life crisis or midlife crisis, and how much of that is because we don't, because not many people talk about going for what we love and do the work that we love and make money from what we love, and we end up sacrificing ourselves or feel like we have no choice but to go for a job that we don't really enjoy just because we can, bring back the bacon.
So you're saying that money is prioritized as the top value. So the most important thing is make money, pay the bills, have food to eat, pay for the roof over your head, as if this is in doubt for most people living in a developed country. We're coming to you live from Singapore, so we're talking within the Singapore context, and we understand that other countries around the region, we have people from Malaysia, Indonesia, from Europe, from America, from Australia. So we have all types of people from different places here with us in this session. We're talking from a developed world point of view. So our survival is not at risk, but we behave like it is, like our job equals our survival. When we're talking about something that, we have a choice where we work, how we work, what kind of business that we do, don't we, Victoria?
Yes, we do.
So why did you want to talk about passion, purpose, and profits today? And why for leaders? What's the connection between this subject for leaders, given that most people don't believe it's possible, so they work in jobs and businesses and careers they don't enjoy, and they do it primarily for the money? So why did you choose it today?
There are a few reasons. I feel that, in life, right, just a little bit of context. If I look at most people, including myself and many people that we work with over the years, everyone has their fair share of challenges. It doesn't matter what job we are in, what business we are in, how successful we are or not so successful. Everyone has their fair share of challenges. And that a lot of time the challenges can look daunting and it's difficult to overcome. And in my experience, the more I focus on going for my purpose, passion, and making money from doing it, even during challenging time, it can be a lot easier to overcome because there's a reason. There's a reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that it's not just making money for the money's sake. And that so challenges start to become I can't say it's easy, but it tend to you tend to be more creative when it comes to challenging situation because you have more reason to overcome it than when there's no purpose. So I think combining the three, right? My mission and our mission is actually to educate and inspire people towards looking at that as a possibility where it's more sustainable, because everybody is talking about sustainability these days, and we talk about environment, we talk about things that resources, what we do, how we do it. But what about our life? What about our ability to sustain our energy? How about our ability to have more sustainability in the work that we are doing? That small challenges or small problem doesn't get to us, and it gives us more compelling reason behind it is going to help us to overcome it and help us to grow and to become better and to be able to do more and to be able to contribute more.
Victoria, I have a slide that I'd like to show everybody, if that's okay with you.
Of course, go for it.
Yes, just a moment. I'm going to put up a slide and I'll talk to it while we're getting this slide ready. Here it is here. And what happens is, I'll put myself here smaller. There we go. What happens is that most people, they avoid pain and they go towards pleasure. So these are the two primary motivators that most people have: away from pain and towards pleasure. Now, making money gives you pleasure. Losing money causes pain. Having recognition and reward causes pleasure. And having depreciation, being looked over or passed over for a promotion, causes pain. So we want to avoid those things. We don't want to take risk, because risk, when it fails, when we have any kind of failure, particularly public humiliation, this kind of failure causes us pain, and the pain we want to avoid. So we want things make us feel good, and then we want to avoid those painful things. And what we propose for people is a third point, which is, instead of going bouncing between these two things, and my camera's going in and out. That's why you see me, now you don't. So that's part of the technical challenges we're having. So if I flash, you know what it is. Some gremlin in my camera. So what happens is, having purpose, passion, and profit allows a third point. You can see here we call it the search for meaning, contribution, passion, purpose, and we would add profit to this. That it has to be profitable, because what's the point of dedicating your life, contributing, making a difference, if you go broke? It's no good. You can't sustain it. So profits are needed for sustainability. And here we have that third point that provides you something different, more space away from the traditional bouncing between the two. Hey, Victoria, how do you, any comment about this?
Well, I like this slide. I think it makes a lot of sense from a sustainability point of view. Without the profit, you can't, how do we sustain it? How do we sustain the mission? How do we sustain what we do? It has to be part of the formula. It's not about sacrificing one for another. And I think a lot of people, when it comes to purpose and contribution, right, this is not about right or wrong, but the immediate thought is that if I want to do something meaningful, it's charity work.
Oh, you're saying that if it has an impact, if it's meaningful, if it helps people, that
it has to be a charity.
Oh, so you can't make money while helping people, because then it should be a charity.
Yeah, then you're a greedy capitalist if you make money while helping people.
Well, since you mentioned it, Victoria, are you a greedy capitalist, Victoria? You are one of those fat cats, greedy capitalists?
Is that a real question?
Yes, it's a real question, because I can admit I'm a greedy fat cat capitalist. I am. I'm a capitalist, but I'm also a philanthropist. And I believe that if you have to wait until you die to give back, you're doing something wrong. You should be giving back throughout your whole life. You should be doing work that makes a difference to people. You should be helping people, and there needs to be a fair exchange for what you're doing. And a lot of people ignore the fair exchange part, that somehow if you sacrifice and don't make any money, this makes you a good person. But this is wrong. This makes you a sacrificial person who doesn't have the resources to take care of yourself. So what they say on the airplane, Victoria, is that when there's an emergency, the first person you put the mask on is the person next to you, isn't it? Don't you save everybody around you and allow yourself to die? No. What they do is they say, the first thing you should do is put the oxygen mask on yourself. You have to take care of yourself. So you have to take care of all your needs. You have to make sure that you have a profit to sustain your activities, to sustain yourself, because if you sacrifice those important aspects, you won't be able to do it for long.
Yes, agree. Well, what most people don't take into consideration is that if we don't take care of our basic needs and our security, we're going to be desperate. And while we are desperate, we are not going to be able to do our best work.
Well, desperate or exhausted, run down, frazzled, less than our best self. Because isn't a rested person, a rested leader, going to be more resilient to stress, going to bounce back quicker, going to handle the pressures, going to handle different competing agendas? If you're rested and well taken care of physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, then you're going to be more capable to help more people. And this is the part that people overlook. They think that they can sacrifice and that they can be burnt out. Because what is burnout, Victoria? Because have you ever seen anyone who's on purpose, searching for their meaning, engaged in contribution, passionate about what they're doing, and profitable? Do you see them burning out?
No.
I don't. The people who burn out are compromising somewhere, and it shows up physically as, a breakdown. So if you have a breakdown, there's something else going on.
Yeah, because when you compromise, you got to put in more force in one area to compensate for the area that you compromise.
That's right. And then your breakdown is like a last resort. You can't cope. You push it so far. You burn the candle at both ends. Then you're going to have a breakdown. So that's not sustainable.
Exactly.
And I don't think having a purpose is understood by most people, because if you need money to pay for your grandmother's surgery and you need money to put food on the table, that is a purpose. The purpose is simple to understand. It is the reason why you're doing something. That's all it is. It's not some metaphysical thing that God comes down from the mountain. Here is your purpose, Mr. Harrison. Oh, Victoria, there's your purpose. I found my purpose. It's hiding under the table. No, you don't find your purpose. Purpose is something you create. It's the meaning we make from what we decide to do. So if I need to put food on the table and pay for my grandmother's surgery, without which she will have a shortened lifespan, that is the reason why the person wants to make money. That's a good enough purpose. So there's no good or bad purpose. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It is simply the reason why you're doing something. So if you're engaged as a lawyer, you can either be a lawyer because you like fighting with people, and that might be your purpose because you like to go and fight every day. Or it might be because you like to make a great income, you like to dress in a suit, go to an office. Or what if you like to be a lawyer because there's a lot of people you care about who get taken advantage of, and you commit yourself to help them, and you get pleasure, satisfaction, and meaning from your life from helping these people who are victimized get justice, satisfaction. And maybe you can do all three. You can enjoy fighting, you can enjoy the argument, you can make good money, you can dress in a suit, show up at an office, you can have that kind of lifestyle, you can make good money, and you can help people at the same time. And that's ideal, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's interesting, even when you describe the different purpose, there's no good or bad, right or wrong. Is what I notice is that depending on the level of purpose, some purpose only impact a small some purpose impact a smaller number of people, whereas other the higher purpose, the one that impact more people, will have a different it's just different. It's a different level of purpose.
Well, isn't the best purpose, Victoria? It solves an immediate need, but the higher the purpose, the better it is, because if we can have a high purpose that helps all of humanity, that helps the world, that helps people live better, longer, have a better quality of life, this kind of purpose adds more value to more people, and it is superior to a purpose where my purpose is to make money for me, and I'm greedy because no amount of money is enough for me. So if I'm just me, make, and then I'll sacrifice all kinds of things just to make that money, that's a lower level purpose.
Yeah.
So that one won't sustain me through the ups and the downs and all the different things that happen. Whereas if I commit myself for the greatest good, for the greatest number of people, while being able to sustain myself. So I don't sacrifice myself for that, because a lot of people think you have to. But if you don't sacrifice for that, then that higher purpose is going to be more fulfilling, more relevant, more sustaining, more engaging, more uplifting, more inspiring, bounce you out of bed in the morning, occupy you all day long, and you'll feel good about what you're doing.
Agree. Well, that's where the energy is, right? When you have more, when you have a higher level purpose, you have more energy, because it's going to impact more people, which include ourselves.
And I want to give you a contrast, Victoria, to a friend of mine who is very famous, very successful, and their company has like 1,000 offices around the world. So we're talking a lot, a big business. This person lives, eats, breathes, making money. They also like helping people, but they will screw their grandmother to make money. And I don't know if they literally would, but they like to buy hair salons as part of their business, and they'll find someone who is pregnant and needs to sell because they're in desperate straits, and then they'll take advantage of them, and they'll offer them a lower price and worse terms because they can, because their predominant motive, their purpose, is to make as much money as they can. And so to me, I can't do that because I I'm not saying they don't have a heart, but I can't find it in my heart to take advantage of people like that. I'm a bit more of a soft touch because my higher purpose is dealing with greatest good for greatest number. This person, they just want to make as much money as they can in the short term and let the straw fall as it may.
Yeah. Yes, that's an interesting example.
And that's the thing, Victoria, is that I know you're driven by a higher purpose too. What drives you?
What drives me is well, obviously the work that we do. That's why, for those of you who knows me, right, I post every day, and then we do LinkedIn live session every day, and it is a lot of work.
I mean,
And
weekly. We do the
yeah,
live weekly.
I do. Yeah, I say daily. No, weekly
Yeah.
live session. Right, daily and weekly live session. So, is there a lot of work? Yes, but it's not as much work as what a lot of people think it is. So, yeah, I would say that the effort is there, the interest is there, and I know this is my purpose is because when I talk about it, when I talk about how other people can benefit from this from how the system that we help them with, that how it can help them to fast track their results, right? I get excited because my own results, my own life, my own way of looking at things, and my leadership journey has been transformed because of what has been supported, what I've been supported with over the years. And it's actually, quite a lot. It's quite a lot of depth, but not that easy to explain on the surface. So,
Well, on that note, Victoria, you say you post daily on LinkedIn, and I talked to you about your posting, and you always have ideas to share. And I think the way that you do it is quite remarkable and unique on LinkedIn because, like today, you posted about working on your business versus in it. And this is the last subject I would have thought you would be writing about. And yet you managed to share your own experience and share tips and ideas for people on this subject. I think you do a great job. So your purpose in action, and you're not making yourself do it. You do it because you're passionate about it, and it shows.
thank you. Yeah, because I have a personal experience and also working with many other, whether it's business owner or professionals or leaders, right? One of the things that I notice a lot of people get stuck with is that when a challenge happens, or as they are growing and they encounter one obstacle, the one obstacle can get people down and they can't get out of it. And usually the first response to a challenge or obstacle is to contract. And most they it's like, oh no, I better make sure I'm more cautious. They'll become more cautious, they'll contract, and they'll try to do less to make sure that one of our clients will say to us that, take baby step. And the problem with the baby step is that it's part of protecting us from failing again. And that mindset, that way of doing things makes it worse. It actually add on to the problem, and the less they feel like they can do, the less they can do, and they end up contracting and losing more money and
Well,
make
this
wrong
baby
decisions.
step thing is driven by fear, Victoria.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's fear, and the thing about baby steps is that it doesn't work.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't
if you
work.
look at how actually babies grow, they don't take baby steps.
No,
They go all in.
fall.
They don't hold back. Baby steps infers that you go tippy toe, tippy toe, tippy toe, and you
Yes.
test everything with your toes so you don't go all in. But if you notice, babies aren't like that. They go all in. They fall over. They get up. They fall over. They get up. They cry. They fall over. They get up. They keep going until they succeed. And then us adults, are we sitting around with the babies, criticizing them, telling them their technique's wrong, telling them that they should get a life, tell them they should go back to school, tell them they should start over, tell them there's something wrong with them, disparage them? Is that what we do?
No.
No. What we do is we cheer them on, we encourage them, and the minute that they're walking, we celebrate a few wobbly steps, and then we promptly,
Yay!
and sadly, for most parents, they forget and they leave the encouragement at that. And then you have the tiger parents who chase the kids to be super achievers. They're miserable, they're unhappy, they can't make mistakes, they've forgotten how to fail, and then they try and give right answers to everything, and then the testing is giving right answers, and we have this thing called convergent thinking. All we can give is a right or wrong answer. And then we're afraid of giving the wrong answer because we get punished for it. And creativity requires divergent thinking, which is lots of alternatives to a problem. There's many different solutions. How many ideas can we generate is divergent thinking. And encouraging people to make mistakes. There's no bad ideas. Just throw them all out and see what works. This is what we need more of, Victoria, and it's why these tippy-toe, fear-based, they're worried about the failure and public humiliation. So the fear is actually loss of face more than anything else.
Yeah, it's true. It triggers some pain in us that it's not very comfortable. I know I'm very familiar with the fear of public humiliation. It was very real. It was like, oh, what are they going to think of me if I say this in the wrong way? If I pronounce it wrongly, what are they going to say about me? I'm going to look stupid. Those feelings are very real. And I think that's a fear is the very thing that get in the way of people feeling passionate, because honestly, I can't have passion if I'm in so much fear.
That's exactly right. Exactly. So if all your decisions are driven by fear, no passion, because passion doesn't give a hoot about fear. Passion couldn't care less about fear. You're going to do it regardless of the outcome because you're passionate about it. And the energy of that, the enthusiasm on fire, passion is unstoppable. When you're passionate about something, you're not going to stop until you succeed. And that's what people need more of. They need more passion. But you know what, Victoria? Passion is a feeling. Passion is an emotion. So if we've spent a long time numbing our feelings, discounting them, railroading them, sweeping them under the carpet, forcing ourselves to do things we don't like, not sharing our emotions, having a pan face, passion can't exist with that. So in order to touch our passion, we have to be willing to allow ourselves to get angry, because passion is a very interesting thing. How I would describe passion as a mix, like a cocktail of gasoline. So a gasoline, a petrol, if you set it on fire, boom, it really explodes. So passion is a combination of anger and enthusiasm. So when you mix anger, enthusiasm, and joy, you get passion. But if you aren't allowed to be angry about something like an injustice or some mistake or some wrong you want to right or some problem that is not getting solved, if you can't allow yourself to be angry about it, you can't allow yourself to feel passion, because passion has a lot of volume to it. It's like enthusiasm on fire, on steroids, plus the anger is there. So it has that feeling, and it really does engage everybody, and it moves everybody, and it aligns everybody. But if you can't access your feelings and you're pan-faced, numb, and wooden in your expression, which, Victoria, this describes a lot of people, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, basically, what I know for myself is that when I used to be that way, pan face and couldn't feel much, and and the one of the reason why I was that way is because I was avoiding being hurt. So I closed my heart down, and passion comes with heart. So if I close my heart down so that I won't be hurt, I can't feel any passion. That's part of the problem. And it's not a nice place. It's not a nice place to be in, from my own experience, knowing, because I've been there and I've gone on the other side. Honestly, it's so much better to be in a place where I can feel everything, and while being not being at the effect of all the the fear or the pain or the fear of being hurt again. It's part of the process, but it's worth it to be able to open up my heart and allowing myself to heal and to go through the necessary process to open up again and feel passion in life. and to combine that in what I'm doing.
Isn't the other part of that, Victoria, is that you won't allow yourself to feel passionate about something because you're afraid that you're going to fail, you're afraid it's not going to work, and what you're avoiding is actually disappointment. So people avoid disappointment, and they won't make a public commitment to anything in case they don't make it, and then they don't succeed, and then they feel disappointed, and they don't know how to handle the feeling of disappointment. Well, we need to teach our children, and we need to make it safe in the office for people to be disappointed. Set a pie-in-the-sky goal, have a plan to reach it. Have a realistic plan to reach that goal, but set an extraordinary goal and go for it, because you'll achieve more by doing that and failing than you will by setting a teeny little goal and succeeding at it.
Well, it's like, if you aim for the star or moon, you aim for the star. What was the saying?
If you aim for the stars and you fail, you'll land on the moon.
That's right.
But if you aim for nothing, you'll get nothing. You'll end up with a handful of mud. So you have to aim at something. And hey, Victoria, I have a slide for this if you want to see it.
Yeah, sure.
And I think this is relevant for why goals are important and having a vision, because your purpose and your passion revolves around some kind of vision that you're working towards. And this is how I like to describe it here. If you check this out behind me, I'll make myself a little smaller here, and I'll make myself bigger here, and I'll explain it. We call it dynamic tension, that all of life exists in this tension between 2 points. So present condition is where you are now, today. And your goals and visions put a point into the future that doesn't exist yet, and that creates a tension between where you are versus where you want to be. Now, we all hear about this, where you are to where you want to be, bridging the gap. But the part that people don't realize is that there's a tension called entropy, which pulls you backward. So what that means is, if you don't have a goal pulling you forward, if you don't have some mission or purpose or something that you're heading towards, if your goal is simply to get by, to retire, to live the good life, to just survive to that point, to, end your career and go and do what you really want to do, or don't rock the boat, or maintain the status quo, if this is what your goal is, then that's your present condition, and you're going to have this pull from entropy pulling you back. Because what happens is that you're either growing and expanding, or you are contracting. So entropy has us contracting. So when we are here, in order to go forward, we have to go faster and faster, because the world is moving forward and the world is getting faster and faster. So if we stay in the same place, if our income stays the same, if our career stays the same, if our business stays the same and doesn't grow, it's actually going backward. With inflation, with economic growth, with competitors, with different forces pulling us, we end up contracting and going backward. So to counter that, what we have to have is a goal or a vision, and that creates the dynamic tension pulling us forward into the future. So the purpose, the mission, and the passion is infused into that goal and that vision, and that pulls us from the future. So the future reaches back to the present and pulls us to the future, and this counters that entropy, that decay that is a natural part of physics. So this, I think, is very relevant for why passion and purpose and profit are so important, and this must be wrapped up in having some kind of vision that you head towards. And a vision is really just a picture of the future that doesn't exist yet, that you are articulating. This is what I would like it to look like. This is what I envision in my mind. That requires imagination. But if our imagination is muted, if it is suppressed, if we're looking for a right answer for the future, there is no right answer. Imagination, Einstein said, what did he say? You remember, Victoria, what Einstein said? He said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Then why do we obsess about acquiring more and more knowledge in an AI world where we can get all the knowledge of the world on our phones, at our fingertips, at a moment's notice? We can get all the knowledge in the world. Why are we obsessing with gaining more knowledge? AI will tell us what we need to know when we need it. But what AI can't do is fire our imagination, connect our passion and our imagination and our purpose. And that's what we need. More creativity, more self-expression, more ability to communicate and inspire people.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned that. I wanted to say from an education point of view, most of us growing up, if we, we are being told, don't daydream, stop dreaming. So that don't daydream itself already suppress us from imagining stuff. And then we feel like, oh yeah, I should be practical, I should be realistic, I shouldn't dream too much because it's just not realistic. So just talking about dream, the opposite, when we are in that mode, in that state, right? The first thing, the counter feeling is that the opposite of dreaming is being realistic.
Yes, and I believe this is a disservice because our imagination, creativity and imagination are interconnected. When we have a problem in life that we want to solve, maybe we're single and we want to hook up with someone. Maybe, sorry for you prudes out there, maybe you're just like really horny, and you want some action. And this is a problem. What are you going to do with your problem? Creativity will have you solving that problem in many different ways. Your imagination will help you coming up with creative solutions to an old problem that's been around for a long time. But if you're looking for right and wrong answers, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, and you're full of what you can't do, your imagination is down and it's boring as anything. What about nurturing the creativity and the imagination so we can come up with all kinds of solutions? You're single and you would like a long-term relationship. Well, what do they look like? Oh, I don't know. Somebody with 2 arms, 2 legs, and can fog up a mirror. They have to be alive. You can raise the standard a little bit above that, can't you?
Actually, I have clients who say that it's the first person who showed interest in them.
Oh my God, some of you are here. I know you're single. There's a lot of single people. And in Singapore, hey, for advertising for the guys out there, there's a lot of single ladies in Singapore who are rich and available. I mentioned rich and available, right? They're available and rich. They're, like capable career woman. These are the best ones to hook up with. And, they can make everything work except relationship. And this is a sad indictment of where we are. Our birth rates are declining. And, is it any wonder? I think this is a problem that needs a creative solution. And if our imagination is suppressed, we can't see what's right in front of us because we're so attached to seeing what's there rather than what isn't there, because that's imagination.
That's true. Hey, I totally agree. And there's so many things I want to say to that, because I wanted to, and the problem with what you just said is that, there's a lot of, rich, available single woman. And on the other side, right, a lot of men unconsciously or by default can't handle it. That's because of the dynamic they play out between both sexes. Whether you know or not, whether it's in awareness or not is another question. But that's another challenge that people are facing. It can be intimidating.
In a future session, I'd like to talk about relationships, male, female, and I really like. If someone's interested in talking more about relationships and how to have an ideal relationship,
put a thumbs up.
Do thumbs up, comment in the text, send either Victoria and I privately or publicly a message so we know that's what you want, because I really would like to talk about relationships, because I feel that you can have all the success in the world. You can have all the money, you can have the career, you can have the recognition, you can have all that stuff and still fail at the area that matters the most, which is your primary relationship. So when your relationship's not working, it's hard to be fulfilled and to be on purpose and feel like your life's making a difference if you aren't fulfilled in this area. Because fulfillment is a feeling. Fulfillment is a feeling. And if our feelings are numbed, we're not going to feel it. So we wouldn't recognize if it's right in front of our face or bit us on the ass. We can't see it. Fulfillment comes from the inside. And I think it's easier to be fulfilled than most people realize. Just like it's easier to create a purpose and to find your passions. Finding your passions is so easy if you allow yourself to make a few mistakes. Then you find out what it isn't.
Yeah. Hey, talk about passion. I want to clarify one thing about passion. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding between hype and passion and enthusiasm. Because a lot of people, here's how you can differentiate the difference between hype and true passion. If I need to force myself to put out the energy and to feeling like, oh, let's fake it until I make it, right, that's a hype. But true enthusiasm and passion, you don't have to force anything. You feel it. You talk about something, you feel it. It just comes naturally. I wanted to say that because I noticed as I talk to people over the years, people really don't understand the difference. So to them, if you show up as more enthusiastic or more passionate than other people, then you're being a hype.
Well, I think this is a good point, Victoria, because a lot of people are used to monotone voices, monotone expression. So the minute you have a bit of excitement in your voice and a bit of passion and a bit of animation, you're animated by the subject that you're sharing, then you look like you're hyped up and you're trying to convince someone of something.
Yeah.
And some people do hype up to convince others, but it has a forced feeling, like you said, and it's like they have to get in the mirror and go power, 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 pump, pump, pump. You can do it. You can do it. This kind of motivation, which is short-lived and doesn't last. True motivation and true passion is something you can sustain in the long term without external input. So you will talk about the same subject in an animated way because you are inspired by it. You're motivated by it. You're passionate by it. And you can have that same conversation over many, many years without any loss of enthusiasm. You also can get a lot of no's because people can reject you and reject your idea and reject the thing that you're sharing.
Yeah.
And then you can you shrug that off and you don't let it stop you. Whereas a lot of people, they can be all hyped up, get in your face, and you say, no, I don't want that. And then they collapse. No. And they'll get angry with you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people.
For me, I just want to say, Harrison, do I get disappointed? Of course I get disappointed. I feel, like, oh, how come what is it that they can't see the benefit, right? But it doesn't, but at the end of the day, it doesn't stop me from moving on. And, if I'm disappointed, that's my problem. That's not their problem. Because the disappointment is in me, nothing to do with them. So I can use that as an opportunity to work on what can I do better next time. Is it because they are just the wrong people, or is it because something that I could have done my sharing a little bit differently and more effectively? So there can be many reasons.
Well,
and it's not personal.
If you spend time and energy sharing something that is meaningful to you, sharing something that helps other people, and they don't respond, it could be that they're not interested or they don't see it, and it could also be that the way you shared it didn't connect with them.
Exactly.
So what I do as a practice is I'm always reviewing what I do and what I say to look for the more effective way to do it. And I do that by default with absolutely everything. And I'll give you an example, Victoria, is that, and I shared this with someone recently, is that after every seminar that I lead, because I do a lot of weekend programs, and all kinds of things like this 1 hour session with you. And after every one, we have a recording of it. And I'm the first one to play the recording back and listen to myself. And I listen to what I said, what I didn't say. Like I'll be hearing myself talking about people who are horny. I'll be hearing that again and saying, should I have said that? Should I not?
Maybe not.
What the heck? Who cares? It's a fact. Would we rather have something entertaining and interesting, or would we rather have it bland and acceptable? I'd rather people hung up and disconnected because we offended them than they got bored and left because there's nothing of anything interest, nothing of any interest. So I think that if we are self-correcting, because this is an inside-out job. Success as a leader, as an individual, is an inside-out job. It's not outside in. It's not external validation. It's internally making adjustments and correcting and responding and doing things differently in order to get the result that we want.
True. I agree.
So back to passion, purpose, and profit.
Yeah. I was thinking about, at the beginning, for those of you who are here, we say that the video that we played, which is a comfort zone versus a magic zone, it was a great video to segue into it because passion, purpose, and profit is the magic zone. Comfort zone is where we have been discussing, where we are bound by our own fear around what's going to go wrong, and that we can't feel anything, and we feel like we have no choice, and we got to just keep it safe, keep it easy, and let's not take any risk. And that's comfort zone.
You know what I liked about that video, and I've seen it hundreds of times. What I like about it, I always pick up something new, reminding me of things. What I like about it is that it talks about when you leave your comfort zone, you do it temporarily, and then you go back to get resources and to recuperate before going out again. And people somehow feel that, you know, I'm nice and comfortable, I don't take the risk, I want to stay here, I don't want to rock the boat, as if they can never come back and be comfortable and safe again. And as if you expand your comfort zone and you overcome your fears and you handle those challenges face to face, you grow and your comfort zone expands. So what used to be terrifying to you becomes comfortable. And then it doesn't bother you anymore.
It is so true, you know, that your zone originally could be like this. And then as you take up more, as you go for a little bit more, and you become bigger and bigger, and you end up having a bigger comfort zone than just here. Everything really, it's true, everything becomes a lot more comfortable once you're willing to face it. The part that is uncomfortable is when I resist facing it, when I say to myself, no, I'm not going to do it. I avoid the potential consequence that in my mind, I think is going to happen. And that's the part that is uncomfortable.
Yep. If you look at this live session, today we had technical challenges, we had fire alarm in the building, we have all kinds of things at the beginning. And yet in the past, these would have thrown you off and you would have been, distracted. And then in the past, you would have trouble looking at a camera because we don't see any people when we're doing this. We don't even see each other. Like right now, I'm looking at a Zeiss camera, a Zeiss lens, and it's like talking to AI. You know, there's no person there. I don't see people while I'm talking. I don't see you. And so this used to be uncomfortable. And now after practicing it and going through the discomfort and realizing, what's the big deal? What's the difference? You know what I mean? If I'm comfortable inside myself, it makes other people more comfortable. So that's true. Sitting in our little comfort zone, talking to ourselves and withholding ourselves from the world is the other way to view it, is that we owe the gift of life, the benefit of being here and having all our faculties to contribute something to make the world a better place for other people, rather than just me. Because that's when we obsess about ourselves, we are afraid of what can go wrong and all the different issues. But if we forget ourselves and say, you'll be all right, everything will be okay in the end. And if it's not over yet, then it's not the end. I heard that in a movie somewhere, you know. So if we just surrender to forget about, ourselves, and we just focus on helping other people, being there for them, solving their problems, and realizing our full potential, because I think this passion and purpose and profit is about what potential do we have here in this life? And do we want to get to the end of our life half fulfilled? Like we did half of what we could. Imagine at the end of our life, someone says to us, well done, you got to 5% of your potential. You know what I mean? Who wants to hear that? What did you miss out on the other 95%?
Yep.
I think that's what it really comes down to. And we didn't plan this, Victoria, but I just want to mention that it is 12 years since the co-founder of Gold Zone died. She passed away. And she's the one who created the whole Gold Zone body of knowledge, the organization, the curriculum, the systems, and everything together with me. So 12 years ago, she passed away. So this whole idea that we have an unlimited amount of time and that we can afford to waste time being unfulfilled. We can waste time not realizing our full potential, because when we get to the end of the day, don't we want to say, I lived a full life. I gave it everything I've got. Instead, many of us would say, I was too scared to take the risk. There was a person I wanted to get to know, but I was afraid to talk to them. There was a business that I was passionate about that I want to start, but I was scared of losing money. There was a job, they offered me the lead, and I wouldn't take it because I didn't want to mess up. Do we want to get to the end of our life, Victoria, with that?
Well, I don't, but it's up to everyone to choose for themselves, right?
Well, why don't you? What motivates you to push it? Because you take a lot of risks. You're one of the most adventurous people I know who are willing to put yourself out there, take the risk, and do what a lot of the people are too afraid to do.
But for me, I guess I'm a little bit more, like what I shared just now, right? I really don't like the feeling of closing my heart, and that it has me feeling depressed, and I really don't like that feeling. And what I found is that when I discovered my passion about 20 years ago, I thought that, wow, I would love to have that life. Did I believe I could have it? Probably not at that time. But I know that I wanted it because I don't want to. I imagine myself. See, here comes the imagination. I imagine myself in the next 20, 30 years, and that do I want to continue the way I was, or do I want something different? And I do ask myself the question, what do I have to lose? And I don't know. I thought that if I was young at that time, so I was like in my late 20s, and yes, a lot of people would say that, well, if you have children, yeah, if you have family, it's different. Yes and no, because I take more risks now than when I was single and have no commitment, minimum commitment. And so, but my experience tells me that, like when you say, it will always work out, it's true. I've been through my fair share of making money, losing money, team challenges, and client challenges. So it's not that easy, but I believe in the work that we do, and I'm going to work on my side to clear whatever I need to clear, and to unlearn whatever I need to unlearn to continue the work that I'm doing, because I know 100% this is what I want to do, and there's no way out of it. It's not because I don't feel like I have a choice. I have a lot of choices. If today I choose to quit what I'm doing and go do other things, I have no problem. And I'm in the category where most people who feel like they have a hard time looking for a new job. It's not that I'm different, except that I have built my confidence along the way as a leader, knowing that even in my 50s, I can go look for another job should I choose to, but I'm choosing not to.
And I think you mentioned something that everybody could take note of, is that you give yourself choice. So a lot of people don't give themselves a choice. They say, I have no choice. And they repeat this to themselves. Whereas if you realize you have a choice in everything, you have a choice where you live, how you get to work, whether you work or not, where you work, what kind of work you do, what kind of money you make, a business or not business. You have a choice on everything. We have a choice. And when we allow ourselves to clearly choose, we feel more in control.
Yep. Yes. And to me, that feeling is freedom. I know I have a choice, and I'm choosing what I'm choosing because I know that's exactly what I want to do.
So what do you say to the people who say they have no choice?
What I would say to that is that whatever you believe is true. It's true for you. It's nothing. There's no right or wrong. Anything I believe in, is true for me. If I believe I have a choice, I have a choice. And from that state, I will actually have more choice. If I believe I have no choice, I just created the very thing that I feel, which is I truly have less choice or no choice, and I will be more stuck. So whatever I believe in, I'm true. And trust me, I am, okay, maybe I shouldn't say, I have been through a lot of my own negativity, my own self-doubt, disbelief, whether I can make it or not over the years. It has happened to me a lot. It's not that never happened to me before. So I know exactly how that feels. So no, don't trust me. Sorry, just to be clear. Delete that. But I do understand that feeling of whether I'm going to make it or not.
So Victoria, next week we have another live session. Hopefully there won't be a fire alarm or a test next week. So next Wednesday at noon, we'll be back live for another session. We will announce tomorrow what the next subject is going to be. And for those of you who want relationship, please send us a message so we know when to schedule that conversation, and we know you want it. So next week, we'll be live again at noon. In the meantime, people can follow your posts. They can follow mine. I don't post as regularly as you. You're posting daily. And they can connect with you and do a game plan session, 45 minutes. What is this game plan session all about? Why would someone want to do it? And what makes you so worthwhile the time to spend that 45 minutes with?
Well, if you have the desire to get clear on where you're heading, whether it's your leadership goal, your career goal, your business goal, and you want to understand how to bridge the gap, and you want to get clear where you're at right now, that's a great session to have with me, to have a conversation and to get some form of a insight or clarity where you have something to take action on. Because without clarity, it's hard to take action. There's nothing to do if you're not clear where you're heading, and it doesn't matter what you do. So for me, clarity is the most important thing in our life if we want to go towards somewhere.
So you help people to get clear what they want, where they're going, where they are now, and how they can bridge that gap in less time, with less effort, with less risk, and get there
in the fastest possible way without shortcut. Because I don't believe in shortcut. I don't believe in hack too.
What's the difference between a hack and a fast track and a shortcut?
Well, hack is that you're trying to game the system. If the system, because everything has a foundation. It's like a building, there are 4 pillars. Hack is like trying to do 3.5 pillars. You need to have the 4 pillars to have solid foundation and sustainability. So yeah, so to me, that's hack and shortcut.
And are you recommending that people take massive risks and go and put everything out there, or are you suggesting small, simple steps that compound over time?
Yes, correct. Yes, and calculated risk is very different from being careless and just blindly taking risk. Calculated risk means you are able to, you can tell what's the what's going to happen, what's the best case scenario, what's the worst case scenario. Can you put up with it? Can you live with not having a best case scenario? So these are the process that I do with a lot of people. Not necessarily everyone in the game plan, because everyone has a different objective. So that's something that if you're interested, we can talk through the process too. And on the action part, right, because the key in having something in life is to start taking some form of action. So whether after the game plan session, whether you want to take action with us as a vehicle, it's up to you. Or you want to take action on your own, it's up to you. And I know that with us, we can help you fast track even further. But if you feel that you want to do it on your own, it's up to you too.
And do you hard sell them and pressurize them?
No.
Well, you're going to say that, aren't you?
That is for you to experience, right? If you can take the risk in case I hard sell you.
I haven't seen you hard sell anyone.
Isn't that a calculated risk? What's the worst case that can happen?
They can always say no anyway, isn't it?
Exactly.
And sometimes in our line of work, when we're helping people to take action on things, it's like one client we had who had a blood pressure of over 200, and we were concerned about their health, and they had been prescribed blood pressure medication and they weren't taking it. So we insisted that they go to the hospital immediately. So we insisted they take action. So sometimes we will apply whatever force is necessary in the client's best interest. And that's one case. The person went to hospital and got some attention. And a lot of people, they put up with these issues, whether it's with their health or their career or some relationship or some other area, they put up with it and they don't take action until there's a crisis. And what we help people to do is to preempt the crisis. You can see it coming down the road. All the signs are there, crisis coming, crisis coming, crisis coming, and they ignore it, hoping it'll go away. So we help people to avoid that crisis so they can get the lesson in the most painless way, rather than waiting until it all blows up in their face.
Yeah, agree.
So I think anyone who's interested in improving their leadership, making more money, improving their career, improving their relationship should be lining up for a game plan session with you. I think you do such a fantastic job of it.
All right.
And on that note, it's time to wrap up. You want to summarize and conclude? I'll say goodbye here. My camera is flashing on and off, telling me to go. And I'm going to hand over to you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I appreciate you so much for joining us at these weekly sessions. I appreciate you, Victoria, for being my partner in this session and for being so much fun to repartee back and forth between each other and to pick up the slack. And it is a great format. I never imagined you and I could do it so easily for so many sessions. We've done more than 10 of these in a row, and we're going to keep going. And we won't be running out of content and won't be running out of things to say. Over and out. Ciao, everyone. I'll see you online on LinkedIn. I look forward to your posts, and feel free to engage with mine. Over to you, Victoria, to summarize and close.
Thank you. Thank you. So thank you, Harrison, for partnering with me on this LinkedIn Live session and many other things in life. And just so everybody knows, 20 years ago, I've never imagined myself doing this with Harrison. Never imagined myself doing LinkedIn Live this way. This will be one of my biggest fear, other than fear of heights. For those of you who have read my posts, public speaking, fear of heights. So these two are like the worst fear I've had in my life. And so thank you everyone for being here too, for participating with us. For some of you who have been coming here every week, thank you. And we don't take your time for granted. And our intention is really to provide the most value and meaningful conversation as much as we can. And I just want to summarize that today, really the whole intention of having this topic, passion, purpose, and profit, is to hopefully, for those of you who are ready, we can inspire you to develop some courage or more courage to go for it. You have one life to live, and you might as well integrate everything and live your best life. And to have more sustainability so that you don't have to compromise one thing for another. And purpose can be charity or not. It doesn't have to be one way or another. It's whatever that is true to your heart. And purpose is up to us to find. It's not under the table. It's up to us to put meaning in everything that we are doing. There's no right or wrong, as long as it's compelling enough for us to go for it. The reason is strong enough for us is a purpose. And to combine that with passion, you're going to have more energy to do what you love to do. And best part is that if you can have profit and money from it, hey, what's not to like, right? And that's it for us today. Thank you, everyone, and see you next week.